You know, when people get pissed off by all the thievery that's going around them, and when their country becomes just one big theft, sometimes people have what are known as revolutions. And that's something that happened in 1979. When the Sandinista movement came down from the hills and took over the government and threw out the hated dictator of Somoza, one of the most hated dictators in Latin America. And believe me, there are a lot of hated dictators in Latin America. And when I was living out in Seattle, I went down to Nicaragua for a couple of weeks. And we visited that country, and I wrote some songs about that revolution. It's been, you know, what is it, 40 years now or something like that since that happened? Maybe longer, 50? But you know, the government of the United States tried to wreck that revolution. I don't know, probably a lot of people will remember that. The people that worked for, the soldiers that worked for Somoza fled the country and formed a Contra army and tried to launch a counter-revolution. We were down in Nicaragua, musicians and some artists, in 1984. The revolution actually was going pretty well. They had set up some literacy programs, health clinics, some farmers' co-ops, land that Somoza had stolen from the people, given it back to the people. And Nicaragua was a revolution of musicians, a lot of musicians and poets in Nicaragua. We were driving in our little van across the countryside one day. We saw what appeared to be a campesino in the distance running across. Somebody looked out the window. What's he carrying over his shoulder? Well, I don't know, it looks like it might be a gun, a rifle, because some of the farmers had to bring rifles into their fields to protect themselves against counterattacks. No, it's not a rifle. I think it might be a hoe or some farm implement that he's carrying over his shoulder. And as we got closer to where he was, we could see clearly that it was neither a gun nor a hoe. He was carrying a guitar with him across the hall. The sky is so blue and the fields are so green and the air is so thick and so sweet. There in the row is the campesino. He has no shoes on his ambling feet. What does he carry so easy and free on his shoulder at the end of his day? Is it the hoe, or is it his gun, or is it the guitar he plays? Is it the hoe, or is it his gun, or is it the guitar he plays? He walked in these fields since his father was young, since his mother was so strong and alive. His brother came running to carry the water ever since he was barely just 5. How they were poor and their life was a war. The hoe was much too short for a man. Bent in the fields where his father had died, he didn't even own the dirt on his hands. Bent in the fields where his father had died, he didn't even own the dirt on his hands. Ring out the bell and go pluck on the strings. There's a song in the baile tonight. We'll sing and we'll dance and we'll tell all the stories, how we had won the good fight. And though many were lost and some children are gone, they will live for long in our souls. They carried the gun and they played their guitars, and they died for the young and the old. They carried the gun and they played their guitars, and they died for the young and the old. Now this land is our land, we worked it and nursed it. fought for it till we had won. The corn and the beans, all the cotton and coffee, the hoe and the guitar and gun. I remember my father taught me to play. He taught me the songs that I know. He said to fight for your people and to fight for your land, with your guitar, your gun, and your hoe. He said to fight for your people and to fight for your land, with your guitar, your gun, and your hoe. Oh, the sky is so blue and the fields are so green, and the air is so thick and so sweet. And there in the row is the campesino. He has no shoes on his ambling feet. What does he carry so easy and free on his shoulder at the end of his day? Is it the hoe, or is it his gun, or is it the guitar he plays? Is it the hoe, or is it his gun, or is it the guitar he plays? A couple of years after I got back from the trip, I got up in the morning and I opened the newspaper and I read a story about a young engineer from Oregon named Benjamin Linder, who had gone to Nicaragua to work with the campesinos and help them build power dams. And one day when he went out to work, a Contra band came by and they killed him. And this was a big shock to a lot of us. A lot of my friends knew Ben Linder. I didn't know him personally. And so I wrote this song in memory of Ben Linder. Where are you going, Benjamin Linder? Where had you gone 2 years ago? I've gone to build dams for the Camaleona, gone to build dams for the campesino. Where did you come from, Benjamin Linder? Where is the country from which you have come? It's a land much like this one, green mountains and valleys. In a place far northward, it's called Oregon. Who did you live with, Benjamin Linder? Who did you live with? Who were your friends? I lived with the people of brown skin and dark eyes. I called them my family, I made them my kin. Who did you work with, Benjamin Linder? Who were the people that stood at your side? They were poor, they were tired, they were hungry and homeless, and I loved them like brothers and sisters of mine. Who was it killed you, Benjamin Linder? Who was it shot you down in cold blood? I was killed by the government of my own country, mowed down in the morning by their hired thugs. Why did they kill you, Benjamin Linder? Why did they fill your young body with holes? They killed me for power, for greed, and for money. They killed me because I had love in my soul. Where are you now, Benjamin Linder? Where can I find you, Benjamin, please? I live in the dark eyes of the poor campesino. I live in the hands that are working for